What's up and welcome to Kplus Gaming Corner, and in this Outriders video, we're looking at the Technomancer Torrential Downpour set. If you like explosions and throwing bombs and launching missiles from bazookas, then this is the build for you. This used to be my favorite Technomancer set back before Worldslayer. Since everyone else was into blighted rounds and firepower technos, I didn't see too many anomaly power Technomancers, and I like being different and going my own way. It's a really fun build to play and does lots of damage as you'll be right in the thick of the action, blowing everything to pieces and exploding your way through trials and expeditions. Getting right into it and starting with the skills, we're using Shrapnel, Tool of Destruction, which is our rocket launcher, and Blighted Turret. We have really low cooldowns on everything, including the rocket launcher, with a cooldown of only 8 seconds, so you don't have to worry about keeping the skill up, since once they run out, the rockets are back before you miss them. You'll see when we get to the gear that we'll have 6 shrapnel grenades before triggering a cooldown, and with the set bonus, which causes your shrapnels to create additional bombs per grenade that each do a good amount of damage, you'll be destroying everything in your path in seconds. The Blighted Turret is playing more of a support role, as you'll see when we get to the class tree, as it helps to ramp up your anomaly power every time you throw one out. For my weapons, I'm using a few, but our weapons aren't as important with this build since we'll have our rocket launcher active a majority of the time. What's important though is that your weapon has both armor piercing and status power, and I'll explain why this is important when I get to the gear and also the patch tree, but we'll want as much of both as we can fit onto our gear. I'm using the Moaning Winds Radiation Splash combo on my secondary for when we do run out of rockets and are back to our regular weapons. For those 8 seconds when you're waiting for the Tool of Destruction to come back, you can fit in 1 and maybe 2 rotations of Moaning Winds and clear out enemies coming at you. Moving on to our gear and starting with the helmet, we're using the Torrential Downpour goggles. Anomaly power and status power are what you're going to want on as many pieces as you can manage, and the Torrential Downpour set is great since the head and chest piece we're using come with both, as well as cooldown reduction, which is also really useful. The goggles come with more traps, which gives you an extra grenade you can toss before the cooldown, and these rolled with Danger Close, which is increasing your anomaly power by up to 24% depending on how many enemies are surrounding you in close range. I included Special Delivery here, which increases the explosion radius of your rockets by 33%, though this spot is optional. Power Assimilation, Thunder's Legacy, and also Radical Therapy are mods I'm going to try out as well to see if they improve performance, but for now Special Delivery makes it so I don't have to be 100% accurate, and I'll still catch a whole lot of enemies with each rocket explosion. For the chest piece, it's the Torrential Downpour Armor, which comes with a key mod, Trap Cluster, which doubles the number of grenades that can be thrown before the cooldown, and these came with no resistance against the Fortified, which is one of the best ways of increasing your resistance piercing based on how much armor piercing we have, and as mentioned with the gun, we're getting 30% armor piercing there, and another 10% from our ascension points, and as we'll see shortly, our resistance piercing is increasing our anomaly power. I've included Captain Hunter here since it's always great to get as much damage against elites as possible. I'm using Purple Pants since I've yet to get a hold of viable Torrential Downpour leg armor, but these work since, as mentioned, we want the anomaly power, status power, and cooldown reduction. These came with Portable Armory, which allows you to fire 1 additional rocket, and they rolled with the More Damage mod, which increases the damage of your shrapnels. And then I included Bang for Your Buck, which doubles the base number of rockets you can fire off, which the base number is 4, so that means 8 rockets. This plus the Portable Armory mod I just mentioned means you'll have a total of 9 rockets you'll be able to fire off before triggering a cooldown, and then 8 seconds later you'll have 9 more rockets, so you'll have Tool of Destruction almost the whole time, firing off missile after missile and doing insane amounts of damage. I'm using the Torrential Downpour gloves to activate the set bonus, and the gloves come standard with Anomaly Echo, which is always good for more anomaly and firepower, and these rolled with Feedback, which cuts the cooldown of Tool of Destruction in half, which is why we only have to wait 8 seconds to get it back. And then I included Euthanizer to get an extra 16% damage to enemies afflicted with Toxic, and with our patch tree and also the Blighted Turret, most enemies will have the Toxic status on them. I'm using Purple Boots with Anomaly Power, though I'm still looking for better ones that also have status power. These rolled with Untamed Power, which is going to proc every time you throw each of your 6 grenades, so 6 times, and also whenever you activate the rocket launcher, and each time you throw out your Blighted Turret every 3 seconds. That's a lot of Untamed Power, and you're constantly going to be in close range, so this is catching a lot of enemies. These rolled with supplies, which gives you an additional grenade, so this plus more traps, and then Trap Cluster is why you have the maximum 6 grenades you can throw. I threw on Unstoppable Force, which together with no resistance against the Fortified is going to help keep you at a maximum amount of anomaly power, which is always ideal. Moving to the class tree, we're going along the bottom and grabbing all the extra anomaly power available. We want to make sure to grab Adrenalizing Antenna, which is increasing anomaly power by 30% every time you toss a turret. I grab Armored Unit, which increases armor by 50% every time you activate your rocket launcher or throw out your shrapnels, so basically all the time. The Capstone Tech Bond is also important, as that's ramping up anomaly power by 50% for activating ordnance skills, and then you'll have a few extra nodes to play around with. Can put those wherever you like, and I put them into Wipeout, increasing damage by a decent 20% to enemies below 30% health, and then Heavy Absorption for some extra skill leech and healing when those grenades are tossed. For the patch tree, we're up top. We're getting lethal devices, so each rocket and each grenade is inflicting the toxic status, plus dealing an additional 5% of anomaly power as damage if the toxic was applied a second time. And then very important is depleted core. This is the main reason we want as much status power as possible, since with this our rockets and grenades are doing increased damage equal to 100% of our status power, whatever that number is. Mine is currently at 146%, so I'm doing 146% extra damage with my ordnance skills, which is more than double the damage. With the Ascension points, you'll want to start with both anomaly power and anomaly damage. You'll definitely want status power and resistance piercing, and you'll want to get some armor piercing as well. As always, you want to get the extra damage against elites, and the rest is pretty much up to you to fill in as you see fit. There you have it, that's the build. Torrential Downpour Technomancer throwing bombs left and right. Coming up, I have a few more Technomancer builds I'm working on, including the Borealis Techno and Master of Ice, and both my Plague Sour set and my Grim Inventor are coming along nicely, so look out for those as well. Make sure you're subscribed to stay tuned and see what's next, and if you like these videos, don't be shy, give it a like and a thumbs up, it's greatly appreciated, and it helps with those YouTube algorithms and making sure we get these out to those fellow Outriders who may need the help and suggestions. And with that, until next time, peace.